Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the Iron Life Podcast. I am your host, Chris Tutela, and today I want to talk to you about Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy which means continuous improvement or change for the better. The reason that I want to share this with you today is because Kaizen is the philosophy that I teach my nutrition coaching clients in the Lean SOB project. Where most people go wrong when it comes to nutrition is that they try to do everything overnight. You try to do the crash diet. You try to make all these different changes. You might have some type of unsustainable fitness program, some unsustainable nutrition program, and you try to just completely upend your lifestyle. So you think that that is going to speed up your results, so you do it with the intention of seeing faster and better progress. You want results now. There's one problem with that, because you might see some progress early on. If you cut out carbohydrates completely for 30 days, you might see a drastic drop on the scale in 30 days. But let me ask you, are you going to be able to keep carbs out of your diet completely forever? Did you develop the necessary skills and behaviors that are required to keep the fat off that you lost? Or did you just follow this strict, rigid plan for 30 days? Because the problem lies when you try to do something fast and sudden like this, and you do not develop the necessary skills and behaviors that are required for maintaining or sustaining a lifestyle that you want, sustaining a physique that you want. Right? So rather than focusing on what you can do to lose weight fast, because once the summer comes around, once March, April comes around, or even let's just say January for the new year, new me deal, everybody wants to start losing fat for the summer. So all of these crash diets, and you see the public gyms are packed wall to wall for about 60 days, maybe. So how many of those people, you might even be one of them, how many times have you tried that approach and actually succeeded? I would bet not very often. And I know for a fact that many other people who've tried that approach failed time and time again. It's because there is no training program, no diet that's going to dictate that outcome that you want in a short period of time. So back to Kaizen. Continuous improvement. Change for the better. For the long haul. This philosophy is not about a quick fix or a short term. It's about making small incremental progress continuously for a lifetime. There is no fast forward button here. Because if you want to develop those skills and behaviors that are going to keep you, or want A, get you to where you want to be, and then B, help you maintain those results, or C, make more progress, then we're going to have to keep on evolving, keep on progressing, keep moving forward, right? So let's take a look at certain areas of your fitness that you're going to need to get into check using this Kaizen philosophy if we're going to make real sustainable change and progress over time. And when I say over time, if you begin today, within 6 months, you're going to see a drastic improvement. If you continue to improve, which you should if you're adopting this Kaizen philosophy, in 12 months, you're going to see a really drastic improvement. 18 months, even more. 24 months. Think about where you'll be. Okay, but if your mindset is off and you're framing this the wrong way and you're like, shit, man, 6 months, 12 months, it seems like a long time. You know as well as I do that 6 months is going to come and go. 12 months is going to come and go. It may seem like a long time, but I'll tell you what, even if you are working like hell for the next 6 months, you don't think that if you start adopting these small changes, these small improvements, that you're not going to see results, really fantastic results in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, 90 days, and on your way to the 6-month period? You're going to see progress. You're going to be chipping away, okay? But the idea is to turn this into a lifestyle. I know you've heard that before, right? It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. People say that shit all the time. But how do we turn it into a lifestyle? This is how. These are the things that you need to work on. So we've talked about it time and time again on this podcast. If it's your first time listening, welcome to the Iron Life podcast. But sleep is a foundational staple that you're going to need to improve upon if your sleep is lacking. So if your sleep sucks, that's the first step. Here's what I want you to do. All right, I want you to write these things down. Sleep, stress management, nutrition, your strength training, your cardio/movement, and then your recovery. So 6 pillars there, okay? Within the 6 pillars, I want you to figure out what the low-hanging fruit is, so we could gradually improve upon the low-hanging fruit. So here's the thing. If you're looking at sleep, stress management, nutrition training, movement/cardio, and recovery, and every area sucks for you, then you know you need to start with sleep. That's going to be the foundation. We need to start improving your sleep so we can improve your sleep quality or your sleep quantity. All right? The second step, stress management. Okay, so if you say, hey, my sleep is perfectly fine, I get into deep sleep, I sleep well, I wake up feeling refreshed every morning, great. So now let's take a look at your stress, your stress levels. Rate your stress levels on a daily basis from 1 to 5. Where are you at? 5 means you're stressed out of your mind. If you're stressed out of your mind, or if you're a 3 or above, we need to work on your stress management. Okay, so now that means we have to work on some skills that will help you lower and reduce stress, which could be meditation, which could be going for a morning walk. It could be more structure in your schedule. It could be deep breathing drills. It could be journaling. It could be going to therapy. These are things that we can do to help us reduce stress. What's going to be the one thing for you that you could work into your day? How much time do you have to dedicate to that one thing? This may seem trivial, but again, these are the skills that you're going to need to see the improvement that you want. So if you want to see improvement, you want that improvement, right? So then make sure you get this shit done, because this is how we make real fucking progress over time. Now, third on the list, nutrition. What's your nutrition look like? Now, be honest, because I'll tell you every time that I have a consultation with somebody and I tell them to tell me what their day of eating looks like, they say, well, I wake up and I have a smoothie, and then I have some chicken over salad for lunch, and then for dinner I have some type of lean protein, and I have a veggie, and I usually have a baked potato. I'm like, well, dude, why are you 50 pounds overweight then, if that's really the case? Well, I didn't tell you about the ice cream that I eat every night from Dairy Queen, and then between my lunch and my dinner, I'll have a bag of Doritos. Okay, so that's the shit we need to improve upon, right? You got to be really honest with yourself and with the layout of what a day of eating actually looks like for you. Maybe you track your food for the next 7 days. Write everything down that you eat. Everything that you stuff into your face, I want you to write it down, whether it be a beverage or a food. Write that shit down so you know exactly, and you get a real objective look at what you're doing every day. Okay? So once you do that, and we actually have some awareness, okay, that's the thing. Most people don't have awareness on where they're at. So anyway, if you're not aware and your nutrition sucks, then I want you to start to figure what the low-hanging fruit is there for you. First, let's look at this. How many servings of fruits and vegetables are you having per day? 0, 1, 2? Okay, we got to up that shit. I want a total of 5 servings between fruits and vegetables each and every day. You might be somebody who doesn't like vegetables, so maybe you use a smoothie. You could throw a handful of spinach into your smoothie. Maybe you get a supplement like Athletic Greens, and you throw that down with some water and just kind of chug that in the morning, right? So we got to get that improved first, okay? Let's get really good at that for maybe 2 weeks or so. Once you master that, you had 5 servings of fruits and vegetables for 2 weeks every single day. Okay, now we could work on the next thing, right? But that's how we get a little bit better. It's not a crash diet. It's not doing everything overnight. It's adding a little bit more and kind of subtracting some of the stuff that we don't need. Get rid of some of the non-essentials and get really good at doing the essentials, okay? Now, if you're a little bit more advanced with your nutrition, okay, now we could take a closer look at macros, right? So let's say you eat pretty well most of the time. You're having fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and unprocessed carbs. Okay, so now let's take a look. The first macronutrient I want you to take a look at is protein. What's your protein intake? Most people don't eat enough protein. I want you to have at least, well, I shouldn't say at least because it's going to depend on your body fat percentage and your activity level, but let's just say for most people where they're going to start is anywhere between 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. So let's just say you have a 200-pound dude who is relatively lean, okay, has some body fat to lose, and is active, works out. He's going to need about 200 grams of protein per day. So that's, if he's off from that mark, if you are off from that mark, 1 gram per pound per day, if you're off from that mark, how do we increase your protein intake? Well, first of all, how many meals are you eating per day? You're eating 3 meals a day? Cool. Could we add a 4th meal based on your lifestyle? That 4th meal could be a smoothie. It could be something like a Greek yogurt or something like that. Okay, so could we add that 4th meal? If the answer is yes, that's what we do. That's how we start to increase your protein by 25, 30, 40, maybe even 45 or 50 grams right there just by adding that 1 meal. But if the answer is no, okay, let's see how much protein you're eating throughout the day. Just get an app like MyFitnessPal or something like that. Track it for a couple days. Okay, you're supposed to be doing 200, but you're only getting 100. So maybe for you, you could start to add more protein in each of those 3 meals that you're eating each day. So instead of 30 grams per serving, maybe we do 50 grams per serving. I'm just throwing random numbers at you. 60 grams per serving, right? Whatever it is, 65 grams, okay? Because that's automatically increasing your protein intake. We just increased the amount of food you eat at each meal, and we didn't completely upend your lifestyle because I'm not telling you to eat 12 times a day. So you have to do what works for you, okay? And you have to be honest with yourself, and is your nutrition really shitting the bed, or are you a little bit more on that intermediate to advanced level, okay? Now let's look at it like this. Are you eating really well, right? Really well, like your macros are in check, all your micronutrients are in check, you're eating a lot of greens, a lot of fruits, lean proteins, unprocessed carbs, you're getting a good amount of fiber, you're getting probiotics and digestive enzymes. Okay, now what's the next step for you? Well, maybe that means for you, you're going to have to start getting grass-fed organic beef. Maybe that means you're going to get free-range organic chicken, free-range organic eggs, wild-caught fish, all organic produce, right? Maybe that's the next step for you. So you have to look at where you are at, because if you're a beginner and you're eating the Doritos and ice cream every day, and I say, all right, you got to start eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. It has to be all organic, grass-fed beef and free-range. Like, that is going to be overwhelming for you. So understand that you have to start and by grabbing whatever that low-hanging fruit is for you when it comes to your nutrition, and we get a little bit better each and every day, 1% better, Kaizen. Now, we take a step forward and look at your training. What is your training like? If you really want to transform your physique, then we need to strength train because we need to build more muscle mass because, one, is what is going to give us the look and the frame that we want, right? You want to fill out your shirts a little bit better. You want those sleeves to fit a little bit tighter. You want to have the strength to be able to perform, right? And also, the more lean muscle you have, the faster your metabolic rate, so that's going to help you burn fat and keep it off. Proper strength training is going to help reduce the rate of injury. Proper strength training is going to help improve mobility, improve joint stability. So that is going to check all those boxes off with a quality training program. Now, how many days a week are you training? If you're listening to the show, I'm guessing that you do train several times a week. 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, or more. Okay? So if you're not training at all, the first thing that you need to do is start training. So you might have to hire a coach. You might have to join some type of CrossFit gym or some type of a training facility, whatever that is. But you got to start, okay? And we have to turn that into a habit. So if you're not training at all, what are you going to do? First thing that I want you to do is write it on your schedule. Just put that shit on your schedule. What gets scheduled gets done, okay? Where are you going to train? What's your training program going to look like? How long is it going to be? It shouldn't be more than 60 minutes, okay? But get that down. And now here's the other thing. If you are so incredibly busy with new projects, with family, with children, with all these different things that you have going on in your life, and you only have time to dedicate 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to your workout, then that's what you're going to do. Don't think that because it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes that you're not doing enough. Doing nothing is not doing enough. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. I don't care if that means push-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight squats, and lunges for 10 minutes. That's what we're going to do. You have to start somewhere, though. Okay, so you got to get that on your schedule and put it on your schedule where it's going to be realistic. Don't say, I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and do it at 5 a.m. because that's what The Rock does. If you're not a morning person, don't do that. I'd rather you get your sleep, okay? Figure out, or if you don't have to do that, don't do it at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, it's asinine. You got to get your sleep. That's the most important thing. Put your workout where it has to be, what's going to fit your lifestyle. So if you cannot do it at any other time of the day, then yes, then you do it at 5 a.m. or whatever time you have to do it that you think is going to be right for you. Okay, but it might be 12 in the afternoon. It might be 5 o'clock at night. Whatever's best. That's where you're plugging it in. And if you're doing 0 right now, we're going to do this 2 days a week. Now, for the rest of you who are more advanced or in intermediate ranges, how do we make your training better? How could we really start to improve technique, right? How could we really dial in? Or maybe it's the effort side of things. Maybe you don't feel like you're putting enough effort into your training. Maybe it is the execution of those lifts. Maybe it's your consistency. Maybe you do really well for 6 months and then you take 3 months off. Then we have to get more consistent because this has to be a year-round thing, right? So how do we make it more consistent for you? Either way, we can improve your training. We can make your training better. We could start to do more. You could start to add more different tempos and set and rep schemes and all different types of things, okay? We're not going to go into programming today. But the best thing for you to do, if this is not your profession, is to hire a coach. You need a coach. I need a coach, and I am a coach, okay? So why wouldn't you? Don't think that you could do this on your own, because that's where you get frustrated. Having a coach is going to keep you motivated. It's going to help keep you inspired. It's going to help keep you making progress. But it has to be the right coach. Just make sure you do your homework, okay? So now from there, we have conditioning/movement. All right, this is a simple one. You got to be walking daily, all right? You need to get your steps in every single day, all right? As far as conditioning, people overthink this shit. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do hill sprints. I want you to do bleacher sprints. Maybe you do some jump rope. Maybe you do a circuit or something like that that's short and well-designed, of course. Walking every day, cycling, biking. I just said that. Cycling and biking, same thing. Hiking. Whatever is going to be the thing that you enjoy doing. Maybe it's martial arts. Maybe it's playing a pickup game of basketball. once or twice a week, don't overthink your conditioning. Just make sure you get that shit done. Okay? So, again, if you're a beginner, start with walking. Boom. If you're advanced, make sure you're walking 7 days a week to supplement your training. Okay? But we have to move daily. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's something like that, right? Something that you could enjoy. Do a class. Something along those lines, but make sure you are moving daily. Don't just strength train. Supplement your strength training. All right? Now, finally, the sixth pillar here is recovery. If you're a beginner, you don't really have to worry too much about this, okay? If you're just starting training, you're only training twice a week, I'm not too concerned about your recovery. If you're intermediate and advanced, well, walking, daily movement, that's going to supplement your training. It's going to help you recover, right? But then we could start to look into stuff like self-myofascial release. We could look into flexibility and mobility drills. We could look into deep tissue massage. We could look into ART. We could look into sauna, cryotherapy, contrast baths. You have all of those options there. What's going to be best for you, okay? But we just went down that entire list, that entire chain. To go back to the beginning, the Kaizen philosophy, what's the one small thing, what's the one area that we need to improve by 1% for these next few weeks? Pick that one thing and get really fucking good at that, and then you move on to the next thing, right? So I just went through the entire order of the way I want you to approach this, okay? Check those boxes. I hope you made the list of those 6 pillars. If you didn't, go back and listen to this again and write it down, and then figure out what that next step is going to look like for you and how you're going to add that into your life. Now, here's the thing. Kaizen should not just be used for your fitness. This could be used for your relationships. This could be used for your business, your finances, and other areas of your life. So I want you to write these down as well. So we have fitness, right? And the fitness is your first pillar, and we had 6 pillars under fitness that we just went over. All right, but now I want you to write down finances. That's pillar number 2. So you have your fitness as pillar number 1, finances as pillar number 2. Now within finances, you're going to write stuff down like your career goals. You're going to write stuff down like your business goals, investing, your debt management, right? Those are some of the areas under finance that you're going to have to address. And we could apply the Kaizen philosophy, the 1% better per day law, to your finances as well. But remember, guys, the iron life is not just about the iron, right? It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. It's about improving on all these different levels, right? So I also want you to take a look, how can I get better? So fitness, finance, relationships. So that's pillar number 3. The sub-pillars underneath relationships, that's going to be your family. That's going to be your significant other. It's going to be your friends, your peers, coworkers, colleagues. Write those down. How do we improve your relationships? Because I'll tell you what, connection is one of the things that drives our human needs. We need connection. And I'm not talking about on social media. I'm talking about face-to-face, in the flesh, in person connections with other human beings. How do you improve your relationships? Now from here, pillar number 4, growth. Within growth, as pillar number 4, we have some sub-pillars here as well. That's going to be your mindset. That's going to be stuff like learning new skills and new ideas. Groups like masterminds and networking events and things like that. Having mentors, right? Paying someone to coach you or to mentor you, right? Having a coach. I can't stress the importance of that enough. Then people you mentor. Part of your growth is going to be mentoring and giving back to others, right? So people that you can mentor are going to also help your growth and sharpen your skills. Speaking of skills, another subpillar here, hobbies/skills. What's something that you want to learn and do? Journaling is another thing that's going to help you with your growth. Therapy is another thing that's going to help you with your growth, right? These are some examples, but I want you to figure out what that next step will be for you. How will you get 1% better and drive your growth forward over, again, a lifetime? Finally, I want you to write down pillar number 5, passion. What are you passionate about? Most people don't know. Okay, so how do we improve? We work on discovering it. We work on it. Okay, sometimes your passion needs to be uncovered. It needs to be revealed. You might not know it. So how do you uncover your passion? That's a question that I get asked pretty often. Well, I think it's easy. I think you have to ask yourself that if money were out of the equation, what would you do every day? And you might say, well, if I was a millionaire, I'd be sitting on my ass and somebody would be feeding me grapes and fanning me, and I'd have all these supermodels walking around. Yeah, you might do that, and that would be cool for a little while, but then you'd be sick and tired of it, right? Passion is and you'd probably go back to it at some point. We all like to have a little bit of fun. But with that said, passion is something that is going to drive you. It's the thing that's going to get you excited about getting out of bed every single morning. So what is your passion? What is something that you would like to, that you could see yourself doing? Forget about work, right? Don't try to tie it to money. What could you do every day that would make you a little bit happier, a little bit more fulfilled? I want you to think about that, all right? Journal, write that stuff down. Think about what it is you would want to do, and then get out there and fucking start doing it. Even if it's for 10 minutes per day, or just an hour a week, or whatever it is, volunteer your time. And when you start to do that, you start to learn what you're passionate about. Sometimes it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't just hit you. And if you know what your passion is, start doing it. Start doing it every day. Start doing it once a week. Whatever it is, but start working on it. Again, just like with your nutrition and your physique transformation, all of these areas need to be incrementally improved over time. You're not going to just start doing this and changing your entire life today. All of these things take time. But if you are diligent, if you are prepared, if you plan, you will not only transform your physique, lose that body fat, build that muscle, be more confident around the opposite sex, be stronger. You will also be living a more fulfilled, enjoyable, and exciting life of happiness and joy and passion and love, and moving yourself forward every single fucking day. That's exciting. That's what will get you fired up. So if you're in a funk right now, if you're in a place, you have to start to address yourself and your mindset. But I'll tell you what, if you're so lost right now and you don't know where to begin, it's going to start with that fitness pillar. Okay? And under that fitness pillar, figure out where you're going to start and how you're going to get 1% better today. And if you truly want to get better, 1% better today, tomorrow, the next day, and grow over the next 6 weeks, then I want you to head to leansobproject.com, and I want you to fill out an application to work with me today. Not everybody gets in. I only take 10 people who qualify for this program. The next class starts on November 15th. That's a Sunday. Let me just check that date for you. Sunday, November 15th is the next class of the Lean SOB Project. I only take 10 guys who qualify. It's specifically for men. Now, you might fill out an application and you might not get in, but maybe you'll get in the next time. It just depends. It depends on if I think it's a good fit, if I think that I can help you. It also depends on if you feel like you're a good fit. But if you want to lose body fat, build muscle, and truly transform your life, you're going to have this opportunity to work with me for the next 6 weeks. And let me just tell you a little bit about me. If you're new to this show, I've been working with people for the last 16 years on not only their fitness, but their mindset and their lifestyle. I developed a strong passion for helping guys make this transformation and their change in their life because of the change and transformation that I've made in my life. Coming from a family of drug addiction and verbal abuse and fighting and all types of toxic shit at home, which drove me to a point of, I guess you could call it a depression, where I was lost, I was confused, I had no passion. Would go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was overweight. I learned how to adopt this Kaizen philosophy to my life. And I made such a drastic transformation and felt so good about who I was that I could not wait to start sharing this information with other people and changing the lives of others. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years of my life. I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people transform their physique, transform their mindsets, and their lives. I can help you too. So if you truly want to make a change, if you're serious, this is only for people who are serious, then head over to leansobproject.com and fill out an application for a chance to access one of the 10 spots for the next class of the Lean SOB Project, which begins on November 15th. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you next week on another episode of the Iron Life Podcast. Peace.